vendor. That lady was smart enough to understand, but my mother bargains well. So the first thing she says is actually, Amma modal boni ma. So she never bargains. So the toughest negotiator for me, I have personally seen, is my mom. The smartest negotiator is Sundar. So if somebody says NFO, she always gives a space for them so that they can take over. So let's invite Axis to talk about their NFO. Thank you.
Good evening all. First of all, thanks IFPA Association team for giving us this opportunity. I think we are not new to this NFO. I think already there are 5 peer group have already launched. And why multi-asset active FOF at this point in time, I think we all know how the other asset classes apart from equity has performed in the last 1.5 years. And that's the reason we had 2 NFO that we want to launch in between these periods. So we thought this fund would be a right product at this point in time for every clients. So we already have our Axis multi-asset allocation fund, active fund, but why this active FOF, what is the different? Is the differentiating factor is this. I think we all know every asset class have performed at different point in time. So we don't have one asset class at performing at all time. So this is the witness. If you look at in the last 15 years, almost 15 years, if you look at 7 years, equity funds or equity market have done really well. 2 years where Indian bond funds have done really well. 5 years, especially gold, last 1.5 years, we all know. And silver again for 5 years, it has done consistently well. So I think when there are different asset classes that perform different point in time, I think we should have one particular fund that takes care of all the assets at one fund itself. And that's the reason we have also launched this. So the differentiating factor here in this particular fund is equity and debt is dynamically managed. So here what we will be doing is, and in that equity space what we are going to do is we will be investing into our own underlying fund. Since it's a fund of fund, we will be investing in our own underlying fund, which could be Axis Multi-Cap Fund, Axis Flexi-Cap Fund. I think you all agree, would have seen our recent performance in the last 1.5 years, how Axis mutual funds schemes have performed really well. The 2 reasons I could quote here is, one, we have increased our fund management team. Earlier, there was only 3 fund managers who were managing close to 1.5 lakh odd crore. Now, there are 9 fund managers who is managing. So, there are standalone fund managers managing the standalone, the other equity funds. And a research team has also been widened. So which means earlier we had only 230 stocks we used to have as a spectrum, and then out of 230 stocks we used to do a bottom-up approach and then invest into that particular fund. But now we are looking at 430 stocks. So we have close to 21 research analysts now. And that's the reason, if you look at, there's very small overlapping between the funds. And here again the fund will be managed by head of equity and head of debt, Mr. Shreyas Divalkar, who's with us almost since 2016, and I think from 2016 to 2020 how Blue Chip Fund has performed well. I think if somebody have some data, 2016 Axis Blue Chip Fund was just about 2,000 odd crore, now it is close to 33,000 odd crore. So that's the kind of performance he had shown. And last 1 year, the issue was basically onto our internal strategy performance, which is the growth style, which did not work against a value style strategy. And now I think the favor is coming to us. It's all about cycle, and then that cycle is again favoring to us. And that's the reason multi-cap fund, which is at the top quartile performance. So what this slide will talk about is, we have a standalone fund investing into particular asset classes, be it equity, debt, gold, or when we have a combination of asset classes, how it has performed vis-a-vis with the market volatility. So here clearly it is witnessed. What you can see is on the last column of the slide, where when we have a 35% equity or a debt combination and commodity, the equity funds have given close to about CAGR return of 10%, compared with equity fund, which is not up to the level, and also the standard deviation of that particular fund. So equity, as always, will have a higher volatility, and that's the reason the standard. But what we are witnessing here is, with lesser volatility, fund has delivered close to equity kind of a return. So that's our submission. And so I think with 2-3 minutes what we have given, I think mostly I've covered. So we have our team. We will also come and approach you in the next 1 week. Fund has launched today and it is closing on December 5th. And we also have attractive pricing as well. We can discuss on one-on-one separately. So in case if any specific questions, I can also address.
Thank you. Thanks a lot for this. Thank you.